We have created a large clean space. Why? Because this Gaylord is full. Various green small socket, metal, plastic. The place that I'm taking it to doesn't differentiate, but I need to get it on the scale. So I had to clean things up. Now, I may still have a problem over here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff out of the way so I have a clean turn to get up on the scale. And then I'll get the weights off to the place, and then we'll get, so we can get a price locked in. I'll probably take it up next week or the week after. So I'm hoping too that I can get all of this stuff out of the way so that one of my friends in the complex can bring their forklift in and help me fork that into the Sharkmobile, rather than me have to unload all of those by hand into an empty Gaylord. But that's what this is here for. This Gaylord is standing by so that if I have to, I can put this in the truck empty and then load it by hand. All right, well, let's get on with getting this thing up in the scale. Okay, now for all of you that use pallet jacks on a regular basis, no laughing, joking, giving me a hard time. I don't get to use the pallet jack a lot. I don't have to move pallets a lot, and it shows, okay? I'm just gonna fess up, all right? Just have a good chuckle at it. That actually turned out to be easier than I thought it was going to be. This hand truck is great, man. I mean, this pallet jack, oh, this is awesome. Awesome. A forklift would be better, but you know, you do what you gotta do, right? All right, let's see, we're on the scale. Let's see what we got. All right, so what do we got here? 514, a little bit disappointed. I thought I had more than that. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Oh, man. All right, well, still, they're offering $209 a pound but we have to lock that in after I give them the weight. So, you know, it's much better than my local yard. So, and I'm probably going to drive it up there and meet the guys and get a tour of their facility. So it's going to be fun. They're not going to let me record while I'm there, but that's all right. We'll still get to see the place. All right, well, let's get that out of the way. I've got something else to weigh up here real quick, but I'm going to get that box back where it was so it's out of the way until I make the trip. Okay, 100 pounds, 109 pounds of green power boards. The place that I'm taking it to has a category for green power boards, and they pay better than what my local yard pays for the low-grade boards. So the guy said I can bring those up along with the Gaylord of green motherboards. So how about let's go ahead and scrap out a computer. Why not? I'm going to get this out of the way, and we'll do an interesting PC here real quick. Come on, let's dive in. Intel, Celeron. Nothing to get too excited about. We don't have a label on here anywhere, so I'm not even sure if this is a brand name. But let's dive in and find out what we got going on. Rusty up screws. Hit myself in the knee with that thing. Dadgummit. All right, now this whole plate is probably going to slide out once we get these screws out of the way. So this is the motherboard is mounted to that plate. Sometimes it's just a question of what kind of stuff is also like these. Slot cards need to come out of the way because they'll be holding everything in place to a certain extent. So we'll get that done. Get these out of here. That's a nice Goldfinger card. Take off this bracket and this motor, and that's a good value Goldfinger card. Another Goldfinger card for board sort. Get the bracket off of here. Get some ribbon wire out of the way. My yard takes this as number 2 insulated with the ends on. Many yards downgrade that to a low grade type wire. Some terminology for it that they'll use. Some yards will talk about % of copper, as if we have any way of determining that for ourselves. All right, now let's get some stuff out of the way. There's the hard drive, and after we get it out of the caddy, we'll be taking the board off because that's a IDE pin, so that's going to be a high-grade hard drive board. It is worth the effort to take those off. Let's see here. Wire in the way. Maybe we can get you out by sliding it like that. Once we get the wire out of the way. Yep. Now we still have to get down there. My nose is itching. This is an older style small form factor, if you will. And man, they shove a lot of stuff into a tiny little space with these. Modern small form factors are a lot less crowded because they don't have as much large component kind of things in the way. Let's see, we might be able to get the motherboard out of here now. This tray should slide out here. Let's see, did I miss any screws here? No, there we go. There we go. The wire was holding things up, apparently. Come on, you. It's Hopper. There's our motherboard. Looks like it's going to be some sort of large socket. Get the RAM off of here. I'm not even going to look at the RAM because I know it's not going to be anything exciting. Just going in with the gold RAM. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you all can see clearly enough, but you know what? Here, let me bring you down here. So this bracket is pretty easy. You press down on it there, and you take your screwdriver and twist it like that, and it should pop right out. So we push down, put the screwdriver in there, give it a twist. There we go. And we have a green fiber. Sometimes you need to get your screwdriver in here to get those out. Green fiber CPU. Large socket motherboard. A US quarter will fit down inside of there. Get the CMOS battery off of here. There we go. A very nice board for Chris. This is a classic large socket motherboard. And if you have to depopulate, these are reasonable boards for depopulating. You've got 2 gold cornered BGAs, a bunch of flat pack ICs, tantalum capacitors, pretty common size tantalum capacitors, a bunch of MLCCs down inside of the socket, which is pretty common, oscillators, gold plated pin connectors, nothing going to be on the back. So if you have no choice to depopulate, there's some good stuff here, but I don't depopulate boards when I'm selling them to board sort. I might pluck a socket mounted IC or something like that, but for the most part, if I'm selling it to board sort, I don't touch it. It just goes as is. Well, after I take off the stuff that they tell you to take off, like the heat sinks and those things. Now then, let's see. Get this fan off of here. Sometimes the screws just spin inside the aluminum. It takes a little extra oomph to pull it off, but that's aluminum heatsink. Your yard may buy it as aluminum heatsink or extruded aluminum. Some yards have other classifications for it. My yard will still take the motor that's in the fan. So I get the wire off of there, break the fins off, And now I have a small motor. Some yards won't do this. Some yards are not taking these anymore as motors. Other yards will still take it, the whole fan, as a computer fan. Remember my mantra, know your buyer. Know what they want, know how they're pricing stuff out. That's very, very important. All right. Hard drive does not want to play. That one does. One screw on each side was happy to come out. The other one doesn't want to. Little buggers. I like this Phillips head. This is my go-to when things don't work because the tip is a flatter approach. And so once the inside has gotten a little bit rounded, this can usually still bite on whatever is left behind. Here we go. Cut this rubber part. La Babiscuit. What movie was that from? Or was that a song? I don't remember if that was from a song or a movie. All right, so hard drive IDE pin type. Those are IDE pins, the gold-plated pin things. This board sort pays more for this than they do the SATA pin connectors. So it's worth my time to take this board off. And I keep a drill loaded with the right size Torx. This almost is always the right size Torx for these. Every once in a while you find a weird one, but anyway, so that's a high grade HDD board, or a non-SATA HDD board, or an IDE pin. They're all the same thing. We have screws on both sides, we did. And we may have to take off the faceplate. Nope, we didn't have to. Sometimes you have to take that faceplate off to get the CD-ROM to come out. Let's see here now. How big of a board do we have going here? I love these older CD-ROMs because frequently they have nice big boards in them. But not this time. I mean, it's still a good sized board, right? It's almost half of the thing. Yeah, that just goes back in there. Put you back in place. There we go. It's not worth wasting too much time on that. That fits in good enough. Yeah, we'll see if this one screw wants to do its job. There we go. That will be sufficient to keep it together for the trip to the scrapyard. Get these brackets off of here. Now you could sell it to Board Sword like that, but you're not going to make as much money as if you just very quickly pull that bracket off. That's the best value right there. And if you get a malcontent that doesn't want to play, just break the sucker. It's not that big a deal. There we go. And you know, there's a lot of folks that don't take those little transformers off. I don't think that's a huge deal either. But I just, I always try to be really fair with Chris because he's always been very, very fair with me. So it's always good to have good relations with the buyers of your scrap, because it's a two-way street. Chris takes care of me, I take care of him. It works well. And my local yards are the same way. I have a real good relationship with my local yards. They know that I'm bringing them good, clean scrap, and so they usually give me really good prices too, sometimes better prices than a lot of other folks. So anyway, well, that was a lot of fun. I always enjoy taking computers apart, but I enjoy it even more when I can share it with all of you. And with that in mind, there's going to be some links popping up to take you to even more of these scrapping videos so you can keep having more fun and learn more stuff. So, oh, and there's going to be a little round one in the middle. That one is a link to help you to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, which is a good thing because you don't want to miss any of this stuff. This stuff is awesome. Have a great day.